On August 20, 1966, a young boy playing on Vintém Hill in the Niterói municipality just across the bay from Rio de Janeiro spotted two bodies sprawled on the rocky ground. They were identified within hours: Marcelo da Silva Ferreira, age 34, an electronics engineer, and Manoel Pereira da Cruz, age 32, a factory worker. Both wore identical lead masks, crude, heavy lead plates shaped roughly to cover the eyes and upper face. They lay 4 meters apart. No obvious trauma. No signs of struggle. Police found 2 notes nearby, written in Portuguese. One read "Expect us." The other listed a series of cryptic instructions and references to Lundins, a word no investigator could place. An empty water bottle lay beside them. A bottle of powder labeled with chemical markings. And nothing else that made sense. Within 48 hours, Rio's police department released a statement. The deaths were ruled simultaneous and unexplained. But the lead masks triggered immediate speculation. Radiation sickness was the whisper in every newspaper office. A physicist consulted by O Globo suggested the masks could have been protection against some form of exposure. Autopsy results were sealed. Rumors hardened into certainty. Some witnesses claimed the men had been involved in secret UFO experiments. Others suggested industrial espionage. Ferreira worked with electronics, after all. The notes fueled both theories equally. By September 1966, the case had become a battleground between official silence and public fantasy. The police held press conferences but released no details. The families demanded answers but were told investigations were ongoing. 58 years later, those investigations remain technically open and totally dormant. What cuts deepest is what came later: the contradictions that emerged when files were partially declassified. The initial autopsy mentioned unusual lung discoloration, then later reports deleted the phrase entirely. A witness statement from a woman who lived near Vintém Hill described seeing bright lights in the sky 3 nights before the bodies were found, but her testimony appears in no official file. A São Paulo toxicologist claimed in a 1998 interview that powder residue from the scene was tested for strontium isotopes, a radioactive marker, but no formal lab report exists. The lead masks themselves have been examined by materials experts exactly once, in 1967. No public conclusions were ever released. It is possible the truth was documented and then deliberately obscured. It is equally possible that the investigation was simply abandoned because the truth was too strange, or too mundane, to satisfy the public that had already decided what it believed. The leading factual theories rest on fragile ground. 1. Ferreira and Cruz were conducting dangerous amateur experiments with electrical equipment, and the lead masks were homemade shielding that failed catastrophically, causing acute radiation exposure and death. Evidence: Ferreira's engineering background. Absence of any documented experiment, any equipment found at the scene, any witness statement corroborating this. 2. The deaths were a ritualistic double suicide orchestrated by a fringe religious or occult group, with the masks serving symbolic rather than functional purpose. Evidence: the note "Expect us" suggests planning. Absence of any motive, any identified group, any connection between the men before August 1966. 3. The men were murdered and staged to appear mystical to obscure a mundane crime: robbery, professional dispute, or revenge. Evidence: the care taken to leave cryptic notes and masks. Absence of any identified killer, any proven motive, any forensic evidence of foul play. None of these theories fully closes. All of them leave gaps the size of a lead masked face. The lead masks case endures not because it was solved brilliantly, but because it was never solved at all. It sits in the gap between what we know and what we imagine, and we've spent 58 years filling that gap with whatever frightens us most. UFOs, radiation, cults, murder. The actual men, Marcelo and Manuel, have become almost secondary to the mystery itself. Their lead masks have become an icon, a shorthand for the unknowable. And Vintém Hill, once a rocky outcrop where two men died under unclear circumstances on an August afternoon, has become something else entirely, a monument to uncertainty. The notes they left behind remain unread, not because we lack the language, but because the people who knew what the words meant are gone. And sometimes, that's all a mystery truly is, a conversation that ended before anyone could speak.